Hi guys. So this is a very different video. I just decided to make this like 10 minutes ago and I hope it's good. The basic idea, and I really don't know how this is gonna go because this is very unscripted and I usually at least have a couple points that I want to talk about, lest I'm gonna just run off and talk about whatever. I basically want to declutter some of the books that I've read and I'm not sure I want to keep anymore. Don't know how many I'm actually gonna get rid of, but I thought I would talk a bit about them. Let's get started. Oh, they've unstuck. We have Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, and Percy Jackson, I don't know what it's the second book about the Cyclops. I also have the other two, can bring them in as well. This is part 3 and part 5. I do not own part 4 for no good reason other than I just didn't buy it. I'm gonna keep these. The next two I have are Quidditch Through the Ages and Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them by J.K. Rowling within the Harry Potter universe. I really like these copies. I want to keep them. The problem is that I share my Harry Potter editions with my family, so I actually do not have them on my shelves, and I don't think I'll bring them with me when I move out, so I should probably leave these with my family as well. I'm gonna start with the ones that I've read recently, because this is kind of a no-brainer. So we have An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. I really like this. I'm waiting for the second part. I'm gonna keep this. The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet and A Closed and Common Orbit, both by Becky Chambers. Part 1 and 2 in the Wayfarer series. Amazing. Really would recommend you read them. Definitely gonna keep these. You know, I'm gonna get like the entire series in paperback because, you know, I'm gonna stick to the format, but this is so annoying, and it's happening a little bit with here as well. I don't know if you can see this, but it's super annoying. It is what it is, but just as a heads up, like if you consider getting these paperback editions, that's something that can happen to you. I'm suffering here. Actually, I'm gonna sort them, and I'm gonna talk about something else while I do that. So what I wanted to talk about is that I've been trying to read contemporary, sort of YA contemporary, some adult contemporary, I guess. And the problem that I've stumbled across is that I seem to dislike contemporary, which is really annoying because I think I liked it better when I was younger, as you can see, because like this is sort of YA contemporary, so is this. I don't think I like the genre anymore, but then I'm watching a lot of reviews and I really want to get more into LGBTQ literature. I really want to read more diversely, but I feel like most of these stories, for, you know, good reasons obviously, are contemporaries. I don't want to ignore this entire genre, but I also don't know how I like it anymore. But I also have this problem because like a couple of these books, again, are contemporaries, and I haven't read them in a couple of years, but I seem to like them enough to want to keep them at that point. So now I'm unsure if I should reread them to determine if I actually want to keep them or not, because I don't want to have books on my shelves that I actually do not intend to read again, but maybe if I reread them, they're actually going to be kind of good. I don't know where to put these. This is difficult. There's a lot of these cases. And I did read a couple contemporaries. For example, I read this one and I found it really interesting. But also I couldn't relate to the character. It makes sense that I can't relate to her because I'm not in my teens anymore. Maybe that's the reason I find YA contemporaries annoying. Well, not annoying, but the reason I don't feel drawn to them anymore, because I don't feel the struggles that the characters go through are struggles I can relate to. Troubles maybe more in the vein of, hey, what do I do with my life, rather than who am I? I feel like that's sort of the difference between YA and adult, also between being a teen and being an adult. Maybe that's the reason. But now that I look at it, I've also read, I mean, this is also a YA contemporary, I think, I would say. And it's really good. I'm also learning a lot with some of these books, so maybe that's the reason I like them. So if I have books that are just like YA romances and I can't really relate to the characters, but I also don't learn anything, I feel like maybe that puts me off. I do not know. I'm not pretending like I can give answers to those questions, but I wanted to ask the questions at least. Out of these 4, I actually only read this one when I was a bit younger. I like this story. It's a bit fairy tale-esque for sure. I remember liking this a lot. Then we have this one, Das Rätsel der drei Schläfer, which I read in the summer. I like the world I found the characters, I guess, a bit one-dimensional. Like, they all had their characteristics, but the kids were all, they kind of heroic and sort of brave, and the adults were completely unreasonable. So, yeah, it's kind of magical, which was nice. I don't think I want to reread it, so I can just give it away. And hope that someone else really likes it as well. Das Geheimnis von Bahnsteig 13, the middle grade thing, is fairy tale-esque, but I think I like it a lot, so I'm gonna keep it. This is also, I think, middle grade. It's very whimsical. It was a pretty world, kind of dark at times, maybe. I'm not sure. I really like this, but I don't know if I want to continue with the series. I mean, I kind of would honestly keep it because the cover looks so gorgeous. Which, you know, let's get it in here. Oh my god, look at it. It's so pretty. But I think I'm gonna give this away. So the first one that you actually can't see is Know Your Shakespeare, Much Ado About Nothing. You know, I would feel pretentious putting a Shakespeare book on my shelves just for laughs, and to pretend like I'm, like, cultured, but I really did enjoy this story. Benedict and Beatrice, they're hilarious. I'm not going to pretend like I want to read Shakespeare's compiled classics or something like that, but I do enjoy this, so I'm going to keep it. This is pretty straightforward. This I liked. I learned a lot from it. It's really interesting. I annotated stuff in here, so keeping this. This one that I haven't read for years, but it's just a dude, and he's writing about school, and it's really funny, and I like funny books. I feel like anyone who's gone to school in Germany in the last 10, 20 years is going to find this funny because there's so much ridiculous stuff that happens in school, and it just, yeah, I don't know. It's just fun. I'm no longer talking to white people about race. It's definitely a book I want to refer back to and think about again and again because, you know, it's not a topic you can, like, learn about and then just be like, okay, I've solved racism for myself. It's something you have to confront time and time again. So, gonna keep it for sure. Parliament and British Politics. Obviously, it's a non-fiction book. I'm gonna keep it because it might be something I want to refer back to. I spent so much time reading this, I'm not gonna give this away just that easily. Next, we have Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This was fantastic. This is also one of the reasons I'm very conflicted about my thoughts about contemporary and romance books, because this was so good. And now I feel like maybe all the contemporary romances are that good, but I'm not giving them enough of a try. The other stuff that's going on around it was interesting enough for me to stick with a romance until I was interested enough in their relationship. Maybe I need books that, you know, deal with more than one topic for me to really be interested. Next one is Permanent Record by Edward Stone. Again, I annotated some stuff and wrote in it because I had thoughts. It was incredibly interesting. I definitely want to keep it also because there are some explanations of stuff. The next one I have is Saint Young Men, which is a really funny manga. It's the first in the series, I assume. And it's about Jesus and Buddha, and they take a holiday in Japan. I don't want to read more, but I do think this is quite, like, fun. The question is, do I want to read it again? But again, I feel like if it's funny stuff, I'm inclined to keep it because, you know, if I want to laugh, it's good to refer to something where I know it's going to make me laugh to read. But the question is, like, is this the thing I would use for that? Don't know yet. Gonna put this here. Okay. The next one we have is Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. Don't think this is a no-brainer. Obviously gonna keep it, like, annotated the shit out of this. Keeping this for sure. Next one is Detective Conan, or Case Closed, I think is the American name for it. And it's part 73 and 74. I wanted to keep these two because there's my favorite character introduced in 73, and she plays a big part in both 73 and 74, and I love her, and I need to keep this. I watched the anime as a teenager and somehow got into the idea of collecting all the mangas, but, like, I got these, like, years and years ago, and I don't think the series has stopped. There must be over 100 mangas, and I don't want to have them. I'm just gonna have these two as, like, an example. And then if I want to rewatch the anime, I'm just going to do that because that's the one I have sentimental stuff connected to. The next one is Mises Karma without Sophia. I don't think I've ever shown this book before. It's really interesting. It's about a woman that dies through an accident. She was a really shitty person, and because she isn't religious, Buddha is actually in charge of her. And so she gets reincarnated as an ant. And she, you know, obviously wants to not be an ant. And so she needs to be a better person in order to be reincarnated as something better, cooler in her next life. She has a family and she wants to see them again, and she sort of learns about how shitty of a person she was. I think it was funny, but also, again, it's a contemporary, so, but it also has like this twist, so there you go. The next one is Shockaholic by Carrie Fisher. It's a memoir. She writes in a kind of complicated way, so that was a bit challenging, but you know, challenges are good. I want to improve my English. It was quite funny. Like, she definitely has a good sense of humor. We see a pattern here, really like funny books. So yeah, keeping that as well. The next one is Das Bild des Dorian Gray, The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I did also annotate this, so I also feel like I can't give it away, which I still can, obviously. Maybe I want to keep like 1 or 2 classics on my shelves just to pretend like I'm well read, whatever. Keeping this, but I don't know if classics are my jam generally. Like, it's not something I reach for, it's something I feel like I'm obligated to read in order to feel like cultured, but not something I necessarily enjoy reading. Although this was really fun. I mean, I hate all the characters, which I think in this case is not a bad thing, but just putting that out there. I've watched Dan and Phil for a while, and was really into the videos a couple years ago. I still like them as people. The reason I struggle to give this away is because I actually had them sign it for me, like, live. Like, I was there when they signed it for me. And then Dan and Phil Go Outside, which is the picture book about their subsequent tour, which is obviously still interesting, but again, not something I'm reaching for. I do like the cover. I don't know. I'm gonna put it here. Probably gonna get rid of this over the other one. Let's start with the easy ones. This one is The Hate U Give. This is great. This is absolutely fantastic. Super cool characters, compelling story, great messages. Definitely keeping this. These 5 books I all read years ago. And enjoyed. I guess it's maybe more about, am I actually gonna read them again? I'm gonna keep this. It's difficult. They're also going on the maybe pile. Don't know what I'm gonna do with that yet, but whatever. Frederick Loves Maria Loves Victor. This is a very sweet, sort of middle grade, bordering on YA coming out story. I don't know. The next one is Kim oder Kimi, eine amerikanische Geschichte by Hadley Irvin, which is actually an author duo. There was definitely some stuff in here that I really, found really thought-provoking. I might just take the tabs out and give it to someone else. And then we have Super Gute Tage by Mark Haddon. The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, of course. I watched the play for this, which was fantastic, by the way. Maybe also giving this to someone else. Will I ever want to reread this? I'm not sure. Because I know the story now. But because it's so impactful through the writing, maybe I'll keep it. Again, difficult. So these are the books I don't know about. There's 2 big piles, like you see this one, and then you have this one as well. These are the books I'm on the fence about / probably gonna get rid of, and the other ones I'm gonna keep. And I'm very happy that I'm now gonna have a bit more space on my shelves, because it's been stressing me out that it's so crammed. Yeah. That's my video for today. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next week.